You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
We've all heard Trump bash China.
We have been ripped off by China. 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 Chinese virus. I don't blame China for taking advantage of us.
But when Donald Trump had his own clothing line at Macy's, did he make the clothes here in the USA?
They're beautiful ties.
They are great ties.
The ties are made in where? China? China. Ties are made in China.
Surely Mr. America kept those manufacturing jobs in America.
You buy that at Macy's.
Oh, it's just another lie. Donald Trump hugs the flag, but his clothing line is made in China. You're not one of the stupid people that keeps believing Trump's lies. Or are you?
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I think he's a kook. I think he's crazy. I think he's unfit for office.
You've been a damn good president. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you more than anything else for putting up with the never-ending bullshit you have to go through.
He's a jackass. Every time I turn around, I'm being asked about Donald Trump, saying one dumb thing after another, and I'm tired of it. President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and then some. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. No, I don't think he's a xenophobic, race-baiting, religious bigot. I've never known an impeachment trial without a witness. That's frankly not fair. I am clearly made up my mind, so I don't need any witnesses. Yeah, well, boo yourself. Trump's the best golfer. So I don't give a shit.
Over our dead bodies.
If you don't like what a politician's doing, fire them at the ballot box.
It's this guy, Lindsey Graham. He's one of the dumbest human beings I've ever seen.
The Lindsey Must Go PAC, or LMG PAC, is responsible for the content of this communication.
A foreign nation is targeting U.S. soldiers, and there has been nothing from the president.
U.S. intelligence found that Russians offered a bounty if Taliban terrorists killed U.S. and British troops in Afghanistan.
The information was presented to President Trump back in February.
Neither the president nor his spokesperson has said whether Russia will pay a price.
My dad was in the Navy. My uncle was in the Navy. My grandfather was in Korea. And now my son is in the Missouri National Guard. It's hard for a mom to stomach her son or daughter or any relative going to serve under this administration. There is no leadership.
You had a phone call with Vladimir Putin on July 23rd. Did you bring up this issue?
No, that was a phone call to discuss other things.
It's horrifying for family members to have lost people in Afghanistan and now wonder if their sons or their husbands or their brothers were killed because of bounties, and that the United States looked the other way. Trump seems to be Putin's ally, and Putin is not an ally to our nation or to our servicemen.
President Trump called reports of a Russian bounty on American troops in Afghanistan a hoax.
Trump is a disaster for our military. Trump has been a disaster for this country.
5 Black and Latino teenagers who were convicted, even though none of them did it.
Vindication for the group known as the Central Park Five.
Donald Trump took out full-page ads calling for the death penalty.
Donald Trump! Donald Trump!
Department of Justice in 1973 charged Donald Trump and his father with discriminating against African Americans.
Donald Trump said, quote, "Black guys counting my money? I hate it."
A well-educated black has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white.
If he wasn't born in this country, which is a real possibility, then he has pulled one of the great cons in the history of politics.
A show of support from the KKK's official newspaper.
We're going to fulfill the promises of Donald Trump.
President Trump is ordering federal protection for Confederate monuments.
Look at my African American over here.
The other man Donald Trump called my African American says that he is leaving the GOP, can't support the president anymore.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Maxine Waters, a seriously low IQ person. MAGA loves black people.
President Trump retweeted a video showing a supporter making a racist statement.
Have you heard him use the N-word?
Yeah, it wasn't unusual.
The coronavirus. This is their new hoax.
Counties that are majority black have 3 times the rate of infections, 6 times the rate of deaths.
African Americans bear the brunt of the economic downturn brought on by the coronavirus.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people.
Congressman John Lewis has died, a hero of the civil rights movement.
How do you think history will remember John Lewis?
I don't know.
Do you find him impressive?
I gotta admit, Lenny, that damn Lindsey Graham ad, that sucker should just be on a loop in South Carolina with Jamie Harrison facing him.
That is a very powerful ad. And the Lincoln Project has been doing some very stinging ads as well. You know, the truth of the matter is when it comes to Donald Trump going into 2020, I should say, is the fact that he has said so many things because he used it in 2016 to get the attention, to get free media attention, to bolster his primary candidacy in order to get to the general election and get to the presidency, that it's all fodder when you're the incumbent. These are things that general politicians can't stand doing. Now, Lindsey Graham got into the gutter and made his deal the way he did after 2016, and it's all playing back on him. A race that should not be competitive in South Carolina has become competitive because of this. But you're going to see more of these stinging type of ads where you're going to see the duplicity of comments coming out as it's playing against the foil of a pandemic, as it's playing against the racial tensions that are going on, as it's playing against the economic tensions that are going on right now. And again, when you have somebody that's not a politician, it's very easy for these things to be matched up together and put into a 30-second, 60-second, 120-second ad and be effective online or on television.
Avis, when you have those mothers of members of the military doing those ads, nothing speaks more powerful than a mom talking about him being a failure protecting their children.
Absolutely. And it's absolutely true. I mean, that's what makes these ads so powerful. It's not like this is hyperbole. It's not like it's anything that's made up. It's all been backed up by facts. We see it every day. This is a man who has continued to completely ignore the fact, for example, that Putin has put bounties on the heads of American soldiers. This is someone who has spoken to Putin over a half a dozen times since that's been reported and has yet to even bring it up in conversation. So, of course, this is someone who doesn't care about protecting the troops, and it's someone who doesn't deserve her support. If I had a child in that position, I'd be probably even more angry than she was in that particular ad.
Here's the deal here, Michael. There are some people who say, oh, man, these ads don't mean anything. But here's the deal. There are people who don't watch the evening news, who are not watching the cable networks or the broadcast networks. If you're able to target people with the China ad showing where his products are actually made, and all of a sudden you're hearing him yelling China, 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 yo, that could still be an effective ad. That could pull votes.
Oh, absolutely. And I understand that people say that these things don't work, but I guarantee you, as a former elected official and politician, we wouldn't spend money on ads if they didn't work. They do work.
Right. I know people say they don't work. Like, so why do they keep spending?
Maybe they don't work. Maybe they don't work for everybody, but they certainly work for a whole lot of people. And you better believe Cory Gardner is dealing with them. Senator Collins is dealing with them. McSally is dealing with them. And they are under enormous pressure in this ad space because they're showing them walking past microphones, not defending fellow citizens when when 45 says something stupid or racist. So they now have to come and pay the piper. And I don't know if they have enough change.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. I'm going to play this video. Y'all, this was 4 years ago. This was 4 years ago. And I want you to listen to what I said 4 years ago, shortly after these idiots put Donald Trump in the White House. Let's get right to the issue at hand. Y'all have already been talking about it. We've been discussing it right here on TV One. After yesterday's despicable news conference by President Donald Trump, I was in my car trying to decide what is it that I wanted to listen to put into proper context my feelings about what we heard. And I thought back to the first black woman elected from the South since Reconstruction, Congresswoman Barbara Jordan of Houston. Here's what she had to say in 1973 at the Watergate hearings.
Earlier today, we heard the beginning of the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We the people. It's a very eloquent beginning. But when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that we the people. I felt somehow for many years that George Washington and Alexander Hamilton just left me out by mistake. But through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in we the people. Today, I am an inquisitor, and hyperbole would not be fictional and would not overstate the solemnness that I feel right now. My faith in the Constitution is whole, it is complete, and I am not going to sit here and be an idle spectator to the diminution, the subversion, the destruction of the Constitution.
Sybil, just like Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, I will not be an idle spectator for a white supremacist sitting in the White House. I will not be an idle spectator to see Donald Trump walk in the footsteps of Republican Herbert Hoover, who led the Lily White movement when he was president from 1929 to 1933. I will not sit idly by to see Donald Trump act like Democrat Woodrow Wilson, one of the most violent racists we've ever had serve in the office of the president. The fact of the matter is yesterday's news conference was shameful. It was despicable. It was him giving the middle finger to black people, to Jews, to Hispanics, to Asians, to women, to white people of conscience. This is a president who has no shame. He is an immoral leader. Now, I know some people out there will say, well, he was elected. But yes, but guess what? Wilson was elected. So was Hoover was elected, and other racists who have served in that particular White House. What this man has done by aligning himself with neo-Nazis and with white supremacists is shameful and should not go unchecked. But it's not just just a question of going unchecked. We must do more than simply tweet and comment on Facebook. This is a challenge. This is a declaration of war. Tom, for 398 years, black folks have been fighting this country to ensure that it lives up to its ideals. For 398 years, we made it perfectly clear we're not going to sit idly by and allow ourselves to be embarrassed and run over and shamed by white supremacists. This is the 190th anniversary of the first black newspaper, Freedom's Journal, which was founded in March 1827. In their lead editorial, they wrote, "We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us." This is a moment where we don't need anybody else to speak for us. We can speak with clarity and with precision as to exactly what is required of us. And what this requires, it requires alphas and kappas and omegas and sigmas, iotas, AKAs, deltas, zetas, sigma gamma rho, the links. It requires the Prince Hall Masons. It requires me, Phi, me. It requires people of conscience to stand up, whether you are bougie, whether you are grassroots, whether you are, no matter where you are, it requires black people and other people of conscience to say we're going to oppose any effort to go back to the days of Jim Crow, to go back to the days after Reconstruction when you had the Redeemer movement by Democrats, when the Lily White movement by white folks as well in this country on the Republican side. We have seen this before, and every time it has happened, we fought back. And what that means is it's time for folks to stand up and mobilize and organize. It means that when it comes to the ballot box, I don't care who you are. I don't want to hear anybody say my vote does not matter, because when you see a white supremacist at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, all you need, that's the only proof you need to show your vote does indeed matter. What that means is we need people in Virginia, in Tennessee, in Mississippi, in Alabama, in Texas, in Georgia, in Florida, in Illinois, in California, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania to say enough is enough. What it means for us to go to city council meetings, county commissioner meetings, state meetings, go to the governor's mansion and say we are going to rain holy hell down on any politician who stands with Donald Trump. If you think we are playing, you're wrong. The previous generation, the baby boomers, they stood up. Our grandmothers and grandfathers stood up. Our mothers and fathers stood up. It is time for Gen X and Gen Y and millennial generation to stand up and say we are going to take this fight on and go after anybody who stands in our path. I will not stand idly by and listen to Donald Trump anymore. I will not listen to a man who is an immoral leader. I will not listen to anybody, whether they are black Republican, who agrees with him, who voted for him, who continues to apologize for him. And you will be name checked, you will be embarrassed, and you will not be invited to anything that involves black people. It is time for us to call people out. It is time for us to realize that we cannot wait. In 2018, we're going to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Dr. King being assassinated. We're going to focus on the 50th anniversary of the Kerner Commission's report on the race riots in 1967. Do understand this as a moment where people are going to have to decide whose side they are on. Are you on the side of righteousness, or are you on the side of bigotry? Are you on the side of just people, or are you on the side of white supremacists? There is not going to be any effort to say I can stand on either one. And I don't care who you are, if you're a Republican or Democrat, you have been served notice. If you stand with this man, if you support white nationalist policies, we are going to take you out at the ballot box and put people of conscience in. Heather Heyer is going to be buried today. She is a 21st century version of Viola Liuzzo, a white woman from Michigan who died trying to help black folks to vote. This is not a black thing or Hispanic thing or Asian thing. It's a conscious thing. This is a battle for the soul of America. And like the Tuskegee Airmen said, we will fight to the last hour, to the last minute, to the last second. We will fight, fight, fight. Number 45, game on. Greg Carr, you were sitting on that set.
Yeah. Sitting next to Liz Copeland. That's right.
That has to be our attitude for the next 81 days.
Well, for our whole lives, Roland, I think what we just watched, and by the way, whether it be Lawrence O'Donnell and eventually Chris Hayes and others who have followed in the wake, you've been saying that from day one. Now they become more emboldened, Don Lemon and others.
Well, they won't invite me on their shows, but go ahead.
Oh, no, they won't, but they watch yours because it took them 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, but they finally started talking like that a little bit. They still ain't, got a whole lot of bass in their voice. But the important thing, I think, that we just saw there, it's funny when you say immoral leader. See, you believe in something that's bigger than the United States. That was a sermon. And I think that is the one thing that you and I and Reese and Erica and you know, our people have in common with Larry Kudlow. You know, we have faith, but our faith, and you know, I love Barbara Jordan. I mean, brilliant orator. You know, when Barbara Jordan said her faith in the Constitution is perfect, I appreciate that. I honor that. But at some point, we're going to have a real conversation with that, because my reading is she's making a fundamental mistake, because that immorality you were talking about isn't derived from reading the U.S. Constitution. I suspect it's informed much more by the Christian Bible. And Larry Kudlow has a faith as well. His faith is in white nationalism and money. And that's bigger than the United States. See, the United States, you got to think United States, that's why he says it's not our game. The United States is a game. It's a state. That means it doesn't have an anchor in a thing beyond itself. So when we go to biblical scripture and it says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, the substance of things hoped for, that's that aspirational America that Barack Obama was talking about, that we thought once we got one person in, it's going to do something, which is why I did what you suggested. I went to vote.org. I checked. I voted a couple of months ago. I still went. I even kicked a little money into them. I'm going to vote for Biden Harris. And when they get inaugurated, I'm going to work like hell to bend them to the will of the people, because I don't care who's in office, because we got to understand our faith can't be in politics as the end, because when we understand Kudlow's faith is in money and white nationalism, so is Trump. Right. So is this little creature right here, Stephen Miller. This book just came out, Hate Monger. This is the book on Stephen Miller, 34 years old, sitting up there. I have nothing in common with this man, but what they count on, which is why people being civil, what they count on is the idea that somehow the American Negro, sometime between when the boats pulled up and now, converted our faith in something much bigger than the United States to a faith in the United States. And see, that then is like in basketball, when you pick up your dribble and freeze the person who's playing defense. They think they can freeze us by continuing to say, well, you have to subpoena us and then you have to come and appeal to the court. Meanwhile, they understand they don't give a damn about none of that. Their faith is in something else. Now, what they don't understand finally about us is that our faith was always in something else too. So even though Barbara Jordan can say her faith in the Constitution is perfect, trust me, her mom and them, her family and them, their faith was in something bigger than that. And woe be the day, white nationalists, when you wreck your little experiment, because you're going to find out that we never believed in the United States as the end all and be all. And once we become clear that you don't believe in it, we might actually make some progress, because we just tear this whole damn thing down.
And that really is what we're talking about, because we are dealing with a man who will flout the law, who does not care. For all of Barack Obama's cautiousness, his patience, his sense of decency and respect, this man has said, I don't give a damn about any of that. And the white folks who are supporting him, and those few Latinos and those few black people and the rest of them, what they are saying is, we got no problem with the thug in chief. See, that's why after the next 82 days, I don't want to hear a damn thing for none of them. None of them. See, I don't want to hear Newt Gingrich talking trash about Senator Kamala Harris. I don't want to hear Newt Gingrich, who actually, let me just pull up, because I just want y'all to understand what we're dealing with here, because when you're dealing with these thugs who have no sense of decency, when you're dealing with that idiot Jerry Falwell Jr., who they had to replace because he was just so pathetic, so-called Christian university. This is what Newt Gingrich tweeted on yesterday. Kamala Harris is such an aggressive personality that she will quickly join Pelosi and Schumer in dominating Biden. As Biden grows weaker and weaker, the election will focus on Harris's radical left positions and her ruthless use of government power to impose radical values. Nobody. Well, actually, I'm going to take one line from Greg. See, Gingrich can speak about being ruthless and using government power, because that's what that thug did. That's what he did when he took out Jim Wright. That's what that thug did. And see, you want to talk about Senator Kamala Harris, aggressive personality? How aggressive can you be when your wife is sick and you cheating on her and you ask her for a divorce from the hospital bed? Oh, yeah, I went there. Because, see, I'm not going to hear a lecture from any of these fraudulent individuals. Damn you, Franklin Graham. Damn you, Ralph Reed. Damn you, Robert Jeffers. Damn you, all of you fake Paula White, you too. Damn all of you fake Christians who say nothing about this immoral man. You say nothing about his birther wife who has yet to apologize to Michelle Obama and Barack Obama for her birtherism. And now, all of a sudden, now, y'all want to bring up birtherism again. You had some fool who got beaten by Kamala Harris who writes a piece in Newsweek trying to somehow suggest, is she actually an American? Is she legitimate? Can she be on the ticket? And then the folks at Newsweek want to sit here and say, oh, y'all got this whole thing wrong. Why we ran it? Hell no, you ran it. That's why we not going to read you. What I'm trying to get all y'all to understand, I said this means war. And let me tell y'all something. I remember getting a phone call from the CEO of TV One. Oh, just, I mean, what are you doing? And then the president of the network, what are you doing? I said, damn it, I'm laying down a marker.
Right.
Because I needed them to understand that you can't be black media. You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
Preach, Roland.
You can't. Where do we go from here, chaos or community? Dr. King said there are 4 institutions that are prime position to lead black folks to liberation. He said the black church, the black press, Negro fraternities and sororities, and black professional organizations. He specifically said the black press must maintain its militancy and not fall to the conservative. And that really is the fundamental problem. That's really where we are right now. See, that's why I'm not playing games when it comes to these folk, when it comes to spending dollars with black-owned media. I'm not accepting pennies on the dollar. No, I want the whole damn dollar.
Come on.
And so at some point, this is the moment when black folks have got this generation. Reese, this generation has got to have the damn courage that they mamas and daddies and grandmothers and grandfathers had. Otherwise, these folk will run over us if we don't.
Yep.
Listen, Roland, I have stomped a hole in anybody that has come for Kamala Harris, Democrat or Republican. I went to war with Chris Dodd, Ed Rendell, David Axelrod. I am never scared. And if I could go to war with Democrats and rip their ass apart, you can better believe when it comes to these Republicans, I'm about to tap that ass for the next 80 days and however long it takes to get these motherfuckers out of office. And so we have to stop with the civility. We have to stop with the mincing words. We have to stop with kowtowing and the buck dancing and being afraid to call it what it is. That same energy that people have and going against the black folks, the people like the CBC members or Senator Kamala Harris, who's making history now, take that energy towards Mitch McConnell. Take that energy towards Donald Trump. Take that energy towards the Postmaster General. We have the ability to get outraged. We have the ability to go to war. But unfortunately, we spend so much time going to war with the people that we need to be joining arms with, at least for the next 83 days. Whatever problem you have or whoever the hell you have a problem with in the Democratic Party, you got to set that aside because these Republicans are ruthless and we have to be even more ruthless. We have to ruffle even more feathers. We have to shake the table like we haven't shaken it before. And we got to take the energy towards those who will keep their foots on our necks. And if we do not win in November, we are done. We are done. And I know Dr. Carr says that this, you know, he's fine to see this American experiment kind of go a certain way. I don't have that kind of faith, Dr. Carr, about what's on the other side of that. So for me, I'm trying to see us get back to where we need to get to and make sure that we take out the people that need to be taken out, and that's Donald Trump and all his cronies.
And Erica, here's the deal. That's right. I got white folks who watch the show who actually sent money in. I need them to have the same courage. There's a reason in that commentary I mentioned Viola Liuzzo. There's a reason I can mention James Reed. There's a reason, because there were white folks who died during the Black Freedom Movement. And we've seen white folks of courage out in these streets dealing with Black Lives Matter. But this is the moment where, like I keep saying, this can't be close. This election cannot be close. Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they already plan to sue. Already. No. You got to beat his ass by 500,000 votes in Florida and in Texas and in Georgia. You got to beat him by 500,000. Like my man said in Remember the Titans, Herman, leave no doubt.
That's right. That's right. And, honestly, what you and Reese said, I mean, it's time to pass the collection plate. Listen, this is war, right? Roland has said it, Reese has laid it out, and I'm sure Dr. Carr is going to really kind of put the icing on the cake. But this is war. And for the amount of time, and I have to continue to go back to this because, honestly, it's a case against the simples and about it. If you are a simple person, then a simple person would be more relegated to kind of having these arguments and comments in social media, talking about things that don't have any type of bearing over your liberties and over the semblance of freedom that we do have remaining. This is a time to focus. And so, again, what Reese talked about is all of that energy that people put towards biting and talking about the 55, I believe it is, members of the Congressional Black Caucus. People talk about folks that are doing the unsexy behind-the-scenes work as legislators to ensure that there is a voice at the table that is representative of Black folks, their constituencies, working class, poor, rural, all of that, to actually put that energy into, as we've been talking about for quite some time here on Roland Martin Unfiltered, get your voting plan together. Because, see, what you're not going to hear in the birther conversation is Raphael Edward Cruz, a.k.a. Ted Cruz, who was born in Canada, okay, whose father actually claimed political asylum here in the United States from Cuba. You're not going to hear about the late John McCain that was born in Panama, but you will hear it around Black-facing folks. So honestly, people need to step away from the conversation, calling into question who Kamala Harris is. She's a Black woman, damn it. She has led on the executive level. Anything you need to know about comprehensively around Senator Kamala Harris, go see Reese, go to her Twitter page. She has a few threads that comprehensively lay out these really simple conversations where people are trying to wax poetic about what they don't know about. Listen, if you want to have some semblance of what remains of this democracy come November 4th, get your voting plan together. Shut the hell up with the silly, simple talk that gets you nowhere, that does not get us closer to actually having a national strategy, to actually paving the way into making some real inroads around these different crises that we have going on, as we saw in the Biden-Harris press conference this afternoon, and get ready to vote, period.
Greg, Greg, and I really need people listening to understand. First of all, we got right now. We got it's we about to hit 7,000 on YouTube. We almost got 2,000 on Facebook. But here's the deal, and I did an interview earlier today. The big problem we also facing with right now, and just y'all, for those of y'all who got kids watching, I'm giving you a warning in advance. The fundamental problem is we're being fed too much bullshit from Black media.
Oh God.
We're being fed games. We've been fed music and gossip. Y'all need to understand. Look, we ain't playing here. Greg, this thing for me, when I say it's war, I'm 51. I'll be 52 in November. I'm not approaching this election about me. This is about my nieces and nephews. This is about their unborn children. That's what this is about. And let me also be clear, Greg, and I want you to speak to this here. I need everybody to understand, when I say hashtag fire Trump in November, Roland is not saying I'm going to give the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris easy. No. I'm not giving them runway. No. Yeah. I need y'all to understand. I plan on holding them accountable to issues. And y'all can go check my record. Go pull the Essence article that ran in January 2009. Go pull what I said. Go pull what I wrote in my book. The first, President Barack Obama's road to the White House, as originally reported by Roland S. Martin. Go pull the 4 years of Washington Watch and the 4 years of News One Now. When I was sitting here holding them accountable, there's a reason I did not get an exit interview. So I need y'all to understand this ain't about, oh, you being a Democrat. No, what this is about is the fact that if that man, Trump and Pence, two of the most evil folks you ever seen, they will control appointing half of all federal judges in America. They've already appointed 203. There are only 800 or so. They get 4 more years. They're going to hit 500. Easy. This is about them rolling back environmental protection, rolling back civil rights. The man has already said this, white folks in suburbia, oh, I ain't letting no low-income folk come out here. He ain't got no housing plan. His opportunity zones, they can't even provide us information. I sent an email 2 months ago saying, where's the information on how it's going? They didn't even respond. And so I need y'all to understand what these folks want to do. They absolutely, Greg, want to cement white nationalism for the next 2 generations. That's the game plan.
Well, it absolutely is. And of course, it's not going to work because the country will just fracture. So, yeah, Reese, I'm not looking forward to it. I would prefer, because our people will be the ones hit. But if they do steal this election, it won't mean the end of the people who live in the country. It's just going to mean the country's going to fracture. Because California is not going to keep carrying the Dakotas. You see, Georgia and Texas are changing demographically, and New York is not going to keep carrying Iowa and Montana. I mean, so what will happen is this thing is going to come apart. So if you want this country to continue in its current configuration, you better go out there and vote. Now, I have friends and colleagues. We debate, we argue, and I agree with their general assessment in terms of how nations come and go. But they are they're more willing to see that happen. So some of them will sit that out, right? And so, I understand their philosophy, but I also say it's our people who are going to get hurt. And it's important to understand, I've been spending a lot of time over the last month and a half since C.T. Vivian and John Lewis left, in the wee hours of the morning, flipping through books and rereading, and then listening to some of these elders who I know who are still here, like Dory Ladner and them from Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. These were teenagers and 20-somethings, man. When you mention Viola Luizo, she's a younger, you know what I'm saying? These are young people. They're 17, 18, 19 years. John Lewis, 19 years old when Kelly Miller Smith told him to go over there and hang out with James Lawson, who's still alive. So understand when young people say, well, y'all old people, hold on, slow down. Because guess what? I ain't saying they was listening to the 1961 version of WAP, Megan and them, but it ain't like that. No, I'm saying, but they weren't listening to all bubblegum when they were in there risking their entire lives in Lowndes County, Alabama, and in Mississippi Delta. They were having fun. They were sleeping with each other. They had all kind of intrigue. Read Stokely Carmichael Ready for Revolution. Read James Farmer, The Making of Black Revolutionaries. Look up who Ruby Doris Smith Robinson is, Keisha Lance Bottom's auntie. They were having the same fun young people are having now. They listen to the music. They doing what they doing. They grinding. They doing it. And then they put their entire lives on the line, not for the red, white, and blue, but for something deeper than that. For the idea that if you are a human being who draws breath on the earth, you should have a dignity that we respect. And in respecting your dignity, I respect my own. That's a bigger principle than this crap we call the American Constitution or the American dream. That's not what they were talking about. Now, they wrapped it in that because they understood that was the bridge some people have to walk across to believe that they have something to hold on to. That's why I said, when you talk about faith being the evidence of things not seen, that don't mean the thing don't exist. It means you can't see it yet. And that's what these white nationalists have relied on. For us, they keep waving the flag and the Constitution, and they say, now, we don't believe it, but we think you do. So therefore, if you just hold on a little longer, well, guess what? You've overplayed your hand now. So I guess what I'm saying is, in conclusion, the idea that we are at war, like what Erica said, Erica's right. We are at war, and this war isn't just about an election, but without the election, the other thing comes quicker. And what is the other thing? The other thing, even about the fracturing of the United States. The other thing is about this ball we live on is getting ready to reset and get rid of all the humans on it. That's the That's the rollback of environmental regulations.
Yep.
When you see this cotton candy melting, brain-addled, riddled clown stumble his increasingly obtuse ass over into Europe and say United States is withdrawing from the Paris climate accords. Those accords weren't even the thing. They were a gesture toward the thing. But guess what? If you get another 4 years of them, you ain't got to worry about what your politics are. And you talk about we can't breathe. Guess what? Can't nobody breathe. Because these devils right here getting ready to blow it up. And the earth is going to be like, we're tired of the species now. Y'all should have contained that 500 years ago. But your cousins that came out of Western Eurasia and messed this thing up, now everybody got to pay the bill. So when you see this little punk mayor, like this little town, Roland, I can't think of the guy's name. In Virginia, they called Kamala Harris, Aunt Jemima today. I mean, you all are so damn racist that you can't see what these young people in Mississippi and Alabama in the 1960s, people like John Lewis and Dory Ladner and Joyce Ladner and their little bit older mentors like Medgar Wiley Evers, you can't see what they see. We gonna save ourselves if we can, and if it means saving you too, then we gonna save you too. But please don't mistake that from we value your life more than ours. Please don't mistake it for that. So you young people talking about y'all ain't gonna vote, just go on vote.org, see if you registered, if you're not registered, and go on pull the lever for Biden and Harris. And that's coming from somebody who doesn't believe that's the ultimate goal, but that's a weapon. And Erica done told y'all we are at war. So pull that lever, and once they get in there, you tell them, now I want Medicare for all. I don't care whether you believe it in or not. I'm going to get everybody out here, and if you don't like it, I'm going to primary you like my man Jamal Bowman did and got rid of Elliot Ingalls. I'm going to primary you like Cori Bush did in St. Louis and got rid of Clay. I mean, look, we ain't got to agree, but get them in the office first. Please. That's the, in fact, I should say this, Roland. I know I went on for a while, but last night you talked about Shirley Chisholm. I was watching because I spent a lot of time rereading the stuff. In the lead up to the meeting in 1972 in Gary, Indiana, Shirley Chisholm didn't go to the Gary convention. Percy Sutton in New York supported her for running for president, but guys like the Stokes brothers and them didn't support her, and she called them out for being sexist and all that. But in the prelim meeting to the Gary convention, Shirley Chisholm said something very interesting. She said, I don't think we can have a convention where we can all unify because black people have too many different ideological differences. I don't think we can come together. And, whether she was right or wrong, that's something that we're going to have to address. Because on some things, like this next 80-some days, we're going to have to be like Marcus Garvey, whose birthday is Monday. We're going to have to be one God, one aim, one destiny. That we can fight all the way to the poll, vote, fight all the way back, and then keep fighting. But damn it, if you don't do this right here, it ain't going to be no poll to vote for because the flood coming and the sun going to bake your ass. And the next thing you know, we can have this argument in the ancestral realm because there ain't going to be no place on earth for us to live.
Let me close this out this way. I saw this comment on YouTube by Mike Locke, and he said, well, Biden, Harris aren't the ones to believe in. I said it on Instagram, I said it now. Y'all, it's two choices. Y'all are more than happy to bring up the Green Party and the Libertarian Party, and anybody else, they ain't got no shot. It's two choices. Trump, Pence, Biden, Harris.
Right.
Your thinking should be, of those two choices, which one am I more likely to be able to talk with and push to get what I want? Trump, Pence, or Biden, Harris?
That's right.
This is not saying, I'm in love with Trump, Pence, and Biden, Harris.
Exactly.
This is not about I'm good with Trump, Pence, and Biden, Harris. What this is about is who am I likely to see in voter suppression? Trump, Pence, or Biden, Harris? Who am I likely to see support police consent decrees? Trump, Pence, or Biden, Harris? Who am I more likely to see with a housing plan to increase black home ownership? Trump,
That's
Pence, Biden, Harris. Who am I more likely to see put in their budget funds to deal with black women and the troubling issue of having children? Trump, Pence.
That's right. That's right.
The so-called pro-lifers and Biden, Harris. Who am I more likely to see reinstate the Obama-era law that protected black people from auto discrimination? The team that actually reversed it, Trump, Pence, or Biden, Harris, that actually had it passed when he was vice president? Who is more likely going to advance civil rights? Trump, Pence, who's rolling it back, or Biden, Harris? See, these are real basic. These are real basic and fundamental. And so what you have to say is, okay, I got to make a decision here. And what I got to say is, these are the issues that I care about. Okay, and okay, who am I going to go with? And as Greg said, when I do it, I am then going to put pressure on you to ensure that you do it. Right now, who's ignoring you? Trump, Pence, or Biden, Harris? Who has actually talked with black media, which means talking to black people? Trump, Pence, or Biden, Harris? That really, folks, is how you make decisions. I don't have to like anybody. I don't have to love anybody. But what you do have to do is like and love yourself.
Yes, sir.
And your children. And your nieces and nephews. And your aunts and uncles. And your mamas and daddies. And your neighbors. And your frat brothers, your sorority sisters. And your church members. And your Boulay brothers. And your Prince Hall Mason brothers. And your Eastern Star sisters. I can go down the whole line. You got to make a decision. Do I love me and my people enough to actually use the one thing that they've been trying to take from me? And if they have worked that hard to take your vote, if y'all realize Desmond and Sheena Meade spent 10 years trying to get Amendment 4 on the ballot and approved in Florida? Y'all, 10 years. And when they did, Florida Republicans changed the law to make it harder to get ballot initiatives. They were fine with Republican ballot initiatives, but they made it harder after those black folks with the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition aligned with white people in Florida and Latino people in Florida and Asian people in Florida, and that sucker passed more than 65%. The Republicans like, no, hell no, we gonna make this even more difficult. Y'all, it took them 10 years. And they are still fighting it. So you gotta vote. You gotta say, who's with that amendment? Trump, Pence, Biden, Harris.
That's right.
That's what you gotta decide. And then what you gotta do in this COVID world, I need every single one of y'all to do this here. I need every single, y'all, it's 6,785 of y'all watching right now on YouTube. It's 1,400 watching on Facebook. It's 128 watching on Periscope. I need every single one of you. So that right there, y'all, is 81. That's 8,200. If every single person watches, and if every single person says, watching, I am going to reach out to 10 people, minimum. That means just the people. I need y'all. Y'all, I need y'all to listen to what I'm about to say. See, I love it when God just drops it. There are 8,200 people watching this show live. If every person watching this show reaches out to 10 people who are not registered to vote, just the people watching this show will reach more people than was the winning vote margin for Donald Trump in 2016. 8,200 people times 10 is 82,000. Donald Trump won by 78,000 votes. So just everybody watching, you could, if everybody does 10, you could actually get more people registered than the actual vote, the margin of victory for Trump in 2016. All I'm asking you to do is reach 10. That's all. Every one of y'all know at least 10 people. That's all I'm saying. You can't, and let me be clear, you cannot be in a war if there are no troops to fight the battle.
That's right.
You can't keep asking for generals to come up with the game plan, the battle plan, to then rally the troops if ain't no troops. That's why we all got to be in this thing. It's the same reason why, look, y'all got to tell, I need all y'all tell them, watch this show. Tell them folks, stop watching mess. Turn them damn reality shows off you see on OWN and VH1 and TV1 and all them damn networks. All they are doing are feeding us nonsense every single day. I don't care. I don't watch, I don't allow that bullshit in my house because if it ain't feeding this, it's two things. It's two things, y'all. Fertile minds will grow, or if you infect fertile minds with weeds, it would destroy the soil. That's why we do what we do. Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. It's 6. Black-owned company, Mary Spio owns it. She created a couple of these great products here, folks. One of them is this VR headset right here. You can just take your smartphone, drop it right into here, close this up, put this thing on your head, and you can actually go to their site or watch 360-degree video right here, virtual reality video with this headset. Of course, they have content on Ceek.com. You can actually subscribe to that. So that's a pretty cool headset right there. Then also they have these 360-degree 4D headphones. And so you can, of course, amazing bass. You can also, if you're a gamer, you can utilize the microphone for these headphones as well. Bluetooth, so you can, I've had conversations with folks when I'm out walking with these headphones on. And so if you want to get either one of these or get both of them, go to Ceek.com, CEEK.com. Use the promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020. And so that is Ceek.com.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
So I'm looking at all of these people who are trashing Senator Kamala Harris. She's not African American. She's not from here. That was a black woman. Kamala Harris is a black woman. Shirley Chisholm, her dad, born in British Guyana, mama in Barbados. Harris, daddy in Jamaica, mama from India. What I find to be very interesting is that I already see these people. You can't compare Harris to Chisholm. Well, Chisholm was only in Congress 3 years before she announced she ran for president. Harris was in Congress, in the Senate, for 2 years before she ran for president of the United States. So of all these people, are they judging Shirley Chisholm on those 3 years, or are they judging her on the years after she ran for president? See, that to me is what I find interesting when you really start debating these people. And they start, like, I got somebody sitting here going, oh, she got a black woman. So are we now saying that, oh, well, because Kamala Harris, mama is Indian, well then, oh my goodness, she's not black, but Obama's mama was white, and oh my goodness, but he's not black. The people who are engaged in this, Julian, are stuck on stupid. And the reality is we got Biden Harris, Trump Pence. This real simple. Which one of these y'all want, fools? Which one y'all want? It's going to be Biden Harris or Trump Pence.
You know, Roland, Reverend William Barber has a concept he calls a blood test, where he says that you have to take a blood test to see who is closer to you in terms of ideology and philosophy. So he tells it in a kind of a gross way. He says, lady has a baby, and if you take a blood test and it's 15% match, that ain't his baby. But if it's an 80% match, that's his baby. That's your kinfolk. Kamala Harris is our kinfolk. We don't agree with her on everything, but this is such an astounding nomination, astounding opportunity. And all these haterators, that's not a word, but all these haterators, they just go sit down. Would you rather have Trump Pence? Do you know that 100 environmental regulations have been turned back because of Trump Pence? That labor regulations have been turned back because of Trump Pence? Do you know that Kamala Harris has, as Joe Biden said, been a fighter for the little people? No, she's not perfect, but who is? I think that people are holding her to a ridiculously high standard, and I'm not sure why. But I love that you played the Shirley Chisholm clip because it reminds us, absolutely reminds us, first of all, of the audacity of black women, the capacity of black women, and the fact that Kamala Harris stands on a long line of black women who have been politically engaged.
See, again, I just want to sit here and break this thing down, Robert. I just want to really break this thing down because I'm all about, over the next 82 days, exposing as much white stupidity as I am black stupidity. And so when I listen to the people, I listen to all this stuff, and again, I hear the critics, and they throwing all kind of stuff out. Oh my goodness, and she ain't this, and she hate black people, and all this sort of stuff. All I want to know is what you got. And not only that, what are you really saying? Because if y'all want to have this whole, well, we don't know, you ain't really from here, why don't these fake conscious ass people stop holding up Stokely Carmichael? Who wasn't from here?
Come on.
Parents weren't from here. See, that's my deal, Robert. Because if we really want to go there, it's a whole bunch of black people in American history who contributed mightily to what's happening with black people and African Americans who are immigrants or the children of immigrants. See, if they really want to go there, let's go.
Well, Roland, as the son of an immigrant myself, I think that the purity test
hold on, Julian, Robert.
As the child of immigrant from Haiti and myself, I think the black purity test is a quick sonic journey, is a self-eating issue. But I do think that what Democrats do have to do, Vice President Biden and Senator Harris, over the next 80 days, is address all issues. Because let's understand, there are no bad issues in politics. That if you want these people's vote, then you have to prove through policy that it does not matter what my parentage is. What matters is what I'm going to do for the African American community, what I'm going to do for the descendants of slavery, what my plan is and what my policy is going to be to improve the lives of African American men in this country. We want somebody just based on being pure black, diamond and silk. Or black and from the South. But I don't think anybody wants them to be the Democratic nominee for vice president. But what has to happen is there is an enthusiasm gap in this race. There are questions that were not answered during the primary. The same way that works to their benefit and not being able to define the candidates, there's also a detriment to it because there are people who do not know where both these candidates stand on important issues in the African American community. That is the duty of the candidate who is trying to get those votes that to prove and to explain to the American people what exactly they stand for, because all that happens if you call names, if you say they're stupid, this, that, and the other, you're just driving down turnout. That we're going to need all hands on deck in order to win this election. Do not believe the polls. The polls are not going to track the people who are dipping in and out of politics and only vote in presidential election years. And every point that we dip below what the turnout numbers were for Obama in 2012 is another 2 points for Trump because his base is going to turn out. So we can't just dismiss offhand criticisms. We have to be able to address them, and the candidates are going to have to put some work and put some money in to addressing these issues. Send somebody on your show. Buy ad time on black media. Make sure that you are pushing your agenda so that the people who need to hear it, hear it.
Here's what I find just to be interesting here, Scott. I got some fool sending me on Twitter. He said, Stokely wasn't a cop. All right, let's just go ahead and take that one for what it is. So what are we saying? Marilyn Mosby can never run for higher office? What are we saying? Kim Foxx can never run for higher office? What are we saying? Aramis Ayala can never run for higher office? So we saying that Larry Krasner, who's not black, who's white, who's a DA in Philadelphia, oh my goodness, he should never aspire to higher office? Or we say, see, that's how stupid this whole argument is. And not only that, here's the other deal. For all y'all stuck on stupid people, do you know who the most, do you know, if you tabulated across the country, what position that has the most black people elected to statewide office is? Do y'all know what that is, stuck on stupid people? Attorney General. Black man's Attorney General in Illinois. Black man who's the Attorney General in Indiana. Black man who's the Attorney General in Nevada. Black man who's the Attorney General in Kentucky. So now what we really saying is we already know it's hard, Scott, to win statewide office, but if you run for Attorney General or DA, well, we're just going to disqualify you for forever anything else because you were the top cop. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a stupid argument I hear my brothers and sisters making. It's an uninformed argument. The people you're talking about are the people talking out the side of their neck. They haven't done any research. They don't know their history. They get their history every day from you, Roland. But let me tell you something. As a former prosecutor from New York City, all right? Those same people talking and the people listening who feel like you don't want any black prosecutors running for office. Stop.
Hold up, Scott. Stop. Since you were a former prosecutor, you got to get off the show because you're not black. Your blackness has to, you got to turn your black card in. You were a former prosecutor. You got to go. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Now, listen to me. All those people who are stuck on stupid, you listen to me. You better be glad you got some black people in the prosecutor's office, whether they're the AG whether they're district attorney or county attorney, because it would be 10 times worse for you and your family and your friends from the community if I wasn't there, if Kamala wasn't there, if Tim wasn't there. Trust me, my policy as a prosecutor was to give programs to those who were drug addicted. You sold drugs near school, now you going, and you had multiple arrests, right? But my job was not just to prosecute you and put you in jail. My job was to try to rehabilitate you and get you services that you needed so I wouldn't see you again. So all y'all stuck on stupid, you can talk about the man. We need more black people in those positions because they're more liable, they're more likely to give you discretion and services and support than to go hard line and put you in jail. That's not going to help you or your family or your friends at all. Secondly, let's just say this.
Go ahead.
Kamala Harris is a black woman, right? Take Trump and Pence out of it. As a member of the AKs, I've known Kamala for 35 years. This sister identifies with black people. She's an AKA. She went to Howard. I don't care where she's from. Black people from the diaspora are black people. What is all of a sudden black people, African Americans, want to carve out who's black and who's not? We are a country of immigrants. We're all from somewhere else. And you're running against two people like Trump and Pence, and you want to go against her. Well, who are you going to vote for? Or you're not going to vote? You're going to get Trump and Pence again. So stop this nonsense. It's stupid. Get off stupid.
And here's the deal. This is real simple for me, Julian. If you don't want to support Senator Kamala Harris, that's fine. Okay? Just say, Julian, you're talking. Julian, you're talking. Hold on, Julian. Let me finish the question. No, Scott, it is fine. Let me be real clear. It is fine. I don't care who you support. Here's my whole point, though. What we're not about to do is get into this next dumbass discussion about blackness. Because, see, I got black parents. Yeah. But you know what's going to say? Oh, your mama light-skinned, so you ain't really black. So if both of your parents blacker than Barry,
you got good hair.
If both of your parents black, right? It's like, oh, you real black. Okay, so I guess since that's now the whole deal, Julian, since you the lightest person on the panel, and probably you the lightest person on the panel, and probably probably the blackest person on the panel, you disqualified because if you look at some of these fools out here and the standard that they have set up, this is how they have laid this whole thing out, and this is why it's foolish. It's foolish, Julian, because it has nothing to do with housing. It has nothing to do with black businesses. It has nothing to do with education. It has nothing to do with mass incarceration. It has nothing to do with any of the issues out there, how we affected. But you got these folk who frankly sound like white supremacists who are sitting there saying, no, she not really black. She not black. No, she not black because I don't like her hair. And no, she got that Indian hair. And it's just dumb. It's just dumb, Julianne.
Got that good hair.
About this, they did this with President Obama. And it was black people who did it. Something is wrong with us because I show you pictures. I think some of y'all know my family. I unfortunately I picked the light skin card, but everybody else ain't, and it has nothing to do with nothing. As you said, the structure of the economy in this country and the people who are left out and left behind. The fact that we lost black home ownership. The fact that we have, I call it the chucklehead in chief, who does not want to extend people's unemployment benefits. Those are the issues we need to be focusing on. I don't understand what this backlash on Kamala, Senator Harris is. I do not understand it, but it makes no sense. And she is, frankly, the best thing that has happened to the Democratic Party and happened to Joe Biden. Now, Robert has a point, and I agree with him. We don't take them and say, okay, because they're Democrat, everything is cool. We do have to raise and ask questions. But here's what we do know. Whatever they are, they're better than Trump and Pence. So the issue is to get them elected and then keep the heat up. Voting, folks, is not the most you can do. It is the least that you can do. And so you vote, and then you keep the heat up. That's how it goes. So all these conversations are specious. This woman went to Howard University. I hate to say she made one mistake in her life, but she's an AKA, not a Delta. We'll accept that. But in any case, she's amazing.
You can get over that, Julianne.
I'm over it. I will fight for her as hard as I'd fight for, a DST or anybody else. I will fight for her and Biden. This is an amazing move, and we just have to accept it for what it is.
But Roland, I do think that.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Robert, I do got to play this. I want to play this sound right here, which I find to be utterly hilarious. And so let me just go ahead and play this, y'all. I got to get y'all response.
Secondly, I just question whether or not this is going to boost African-American turnout at all. I don't think it will. She's just not that historically exciting to African-Americans. She certainly wasn't during the primary, and that was one of the biggest reasons Biden picked her. He needs that boost in African-American turnout in order to win. I don't see it. Secondly, I just question whether or not this is going to boost African-American turnout at all. I don't think it will. She's just hilarious. Secondly, I just question whether or not this is going to boost African-American turnout at all. I don't think it will. She's just not that historically exciting to African-Americans. She certainly wasn't during the primary, and that was one of the biggest reasons Biden picked her. He needs that boost in African-American turnout in order to win. I don't see.
So my man Ari Fleischer, so they can sit here, they can sit here, Robert. Ari Fleischer can be an expert on what black people thinking, but they can't find them WMDs.
Look, Soul Brother number one, Ari Fleischer, he's making these points because they're trying to sow seeds of dissent within the community. We've seen this on conservative social media since the announcement was made. But we cannot ignore offhand the criticisms of people, and we can't. When we laugh at them, when we joke about the concerns of the ADOS, or we call them the ADOS movement, the Foundation of Black People, HOTEPs, whatever you want to call them. Those are Democratic voters, and if they have doubts, if they have questions, we need to be able to roll out an agenda item. We need to roll out policy items. You can't just dismiss them offhand, because what we saw in 2016
Robert,
was there were.
Robert, I'm going to disagree. I'm not assuming they're voters. I'm not assuming they're voters, because I've engaged with a lot of these people. But what I'm saying is I've engaged with a lot of them, and a lot of them are so out there. That you can't tell them anything, and when you try to present facts, they like, oh no, that's not true. And so, yes, I agree, we have to engage, but some people are so crazy with it, you're like, I can't waste time with you. Go ahead.
Roland, with no facts to support it. With no facts to support it.
Wait. Oh, Julian, wait. Robert, finish your point, then I'm going to go to Scott, then Julian.
But to your point about them being so far out there, the way that Donald Trump won that primary, won the presidency, he went and got those voters who were so far out there, the Pizzagate voters, the QAnon voters, the conspiracy theory Alex Jones voters, and he took them out of the internet chat rooms and got them into the ballot box. So I don't think that we're in a position right now as a nation to take any one single voter for granted. Donald Trump won by 77,000 votes across the upper Midwest last time. So if there's a possibility of turning into a voter with the right policy position, then you need to explore that before dismissing it offhand.
But Robert, your focus is a fair one. But your the most appropriate focus is that black voters and Democrats didn't vote in their normal voting pattern. And so it's one thing to say he wouldn't got them out. They're still fringe voters, but our focus has to be to get Democratic voters out. They'll be excited about this ticket. And then we win by more than 77 votes in Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania. That made the difference. We can't control Trump's voters. He got them out, but we didn't do our job. And this time in 2020, we got to do our job. I don't care about polling. You're right. I want to break voting records for black people, whether it's mail-in or in person. And I got to tell you that black people are going to be highly motivated, independents, educated whites, those suburban moms, and those elderly voters out of Florida whose support Trump is losing on a daily basis. He's got 83 days to turn that around. He's not turning it around. And Biden Harris, whatever October surprise may be coming our way, The October surprise might be on Donald Trump this time and not on the Democrat.
You know, folks who are
Julian,
watching
final
this
comment
program
for
need
my
to
next
do
topic.
this. Number one, you need to know what your rules are about voting in your jurisdiction. You need to make sure that you request a ballot if your jurisdiction requires you to request a ballot. When you get your ballot, you need to put it in the mail immediately. Don't wait until the last minute. That's what we need to do. Robert mentioned those ADOS people. Those people are crazy fringe. Let's just call it crazy fringe. They don't want to vote unless they get reparations tomorrow. And they're not going to get reparations tomorrow. So next, there are other folks who aren't going to vote unless...
Wait a minute. And Julian, hold on, Julian. And this is a woman who sits on in Cobra's group who's been advocating for reparations. You.
Yes. Yes, I'm on the National African American Reparations Commission, but I do not agree with the people who say we must have it now, and if we don't have it, we're not going to vote. That's stupid. What we have right now with reparations is Sheila Jackson Lee has H.R. 40. She has almost 200 co-sponsors. It's very likely that it will pass, and the things that we want we'll get. We have been working really hard with her. And these folks who say, well, I won't vote unless I have reparations, basically you're basically putting a knife in the back of the movement. But you have folks who truly, truly believe that the system is flawed. Yes, it's flawed, but guess what? It's the system we have. And I will tell you, maybe 40 years ago, when I was a youngin' and crazy, I would have said some of the same things. The system is flawed. But I went to my first Democratic convention in 1972. Couldn't even vote then. Went just to see Shirley Chisholm. And so, this system doesn't work perfectly, but it works. And these folks who have all these, litmus tests, one-issue test voters, they're crazy.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
Oh, that sheriff down in Florida who said he would deputize all these white folks if Black Lives Matter came there. Y'all go ahead. Y'all remember this video? Y'all remember this?
Sheriff's Office, but just want to weigh in on what we're seeing going on, played out across the media or mainstream media in this country. Look, folks, don't fall victim to subjecting yourselves to this conversation that law enforcement is bad, that law enforcement is the enemy of the citizens that we're sworn to protect and serve. We swore an oath. And in that oath...
Y'all remember that little fake cowboy? Well, we got some more breaking news. And his ass just got arrested.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, he got arrested for lying. Not, like, literally, he's been arrested.
Was it a citizen's arrest?
No, it wasn't no citizen's arrest. Now, and what happened was the special prosecutor actually even said to him, this is the headline right here from First Coast News. Breaking, First Coast News has learned that Sheriff Darrell Daniels faces at least one felony charge for tampering with evidence, as well as 3 other charges related to lying to investigators. Now, according to their story, the prosecutor in the case told him he had a choice: get arrested or resign. I don't understand why in the hell that was a choice. because if you did something wrong, you should get arrested regardless. And so this has been a long-running investigation. It's been taking place there. Big bad little cowboy, Erica, who said that if Black Lives Matter come here, I'm going to sit here and deputize every single person in my county to defend our property here. Well, his ass sitting in jail.
Would you just look at that? And, you know, I think when we talked about this, we kind of broke out what the demographics were like for this particular county that is actually named after a slaveholder. Surprise, surprise there. But that also he's appeasing his white constituency and not to be trusted because this is the same person that was under investigation, namely because there was his wife or he called the police when he was having meeting up with his lover, and it was soon discovered that this person who was his lover, he actually had formed a relationship with someone that was his subordinate.
Well, that's what this is about. Because he was booked on 4 charges after having his former mistress arrested illegally.
Yep. Mm-hmm. See? And so, you know, following the Trump playbook, particularly when you're Black, is only going to get you so far. So we'll see how he kind of holds up or what tune he's singing, particularly because his marriage ended, unfortunately, and all of these different kind of, if you are Black, you will be arrested, things that are happening to him right now. So we'll see if he changes his tune soon after he's released and settles back into Black life.
Reese, here's this story from News 4 Jacksonville. Go to my iPad. Daniel has been under scrutiny from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for more than a year after he was accused of ordering one of his deputies to illegally arrest his former mistress for stalking in 2019. She began a relationship with Daniels when she worked for him when they were both at Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and the affair continued after he was elected sheriff. He says he did nothing wrong. Well, he's sitting in jail right now.
Well, the sheriff got his N-word wake-up call, and it always comes around. You know, people think that they have that blue badge, and that's going to protect them. Not when you Black. Not when you Black. So now he's figured that out, and I'm curious to see how law and order he will be, how much he'll respect the rule of law and the judicial process now that the gun is on, you know, the other hand. And so I can't have an ounce of sympathy. He absolutely seems like he should be arrested and indicted and convicted and thrown in jail. So I don't say good luck to him. I would say, you know, you get what you put out there.
Greg, this is actually the booking sheet here. Tamper with, fabricate physical evidence, alter, destroy, conceal, knowingly giving false info to, and then 3 counts of knowingly giving false info. Daryl Raymond Daniel, 55 years old, arrested today. Boy, ain't that something? I guess that big-ass cowboy hat wasn't big enough to keep us behind out of jail.
Brother, I just help me. I was trying to do this because when we talked about it the first time, I'm so glad Erica went first because she the one set fire to him. You the one set fire to him since last time we talked about it, and you definitely connected it. This is the same thing you were talking about then. I'm just sitting here trying to do the math. I'm thinking, he was under investigation when he made that video then, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, as our brother Ice Cube would say, here's what they think about you. But, you know, at the end, so you standing out there in front of some people who might have been engaged in the very thing, and you in front of them, they behind you like, yeah, you know, bad boy. Mm-hmm. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you?
Yeah, you know what? let me go ahead. Let me just go ahead and play just a little bit more of fake ass cowboy. Watch this.
Relationships are great and not strained, and where the people support their sheriff and support the men and women who wear the uniform. And you'll have something waiting on you that you don't want. Yes, we'll protect your constitutional rights as long as you remain under the umbrella of peaceful protest or peaceful march. But the second that you step out from up under the protection of the Constitution, we'll be waiting on you. And we'll give you everything you want. All the publicity, all the pain, all the glamour and glory for all that 5 minutes will give you. Is it a threat? Absolutely not. But somebody has to step up in front of the camera and say, Enough is enough. Tearing up Clay County, that's not going to be acceptable. And if we can't handle you, you know what I'll do? I'll exercise the power and authority as the sheriff, and I'll make special deputies of every lawful gun owner in this county. And I'll deputize them for this one purpose, to stand in the gap between lawlessness and civility. That's what we're sworn to do, and that's what we're gonna do. You've been warned.
Well, you've been warned too, Sheriff. Now, I would say this was your position with the handcuffs. Then again, with your mistress, you might have been in this position before with the handcuffs. All I'm saying. So, all I'm saying. No, hell no. You stand there, talk big bad ass with your little cowboy hat on, and now you the one talking all that trash about Black Lives Matter, tearing stuff up. Now your punk ass the one that got arrested and sitting in jail, and you got to make bail. By the way, the election is in Florida next week. He says he's gonna keep campaigning. Let's see if these fools throw this idiot out. All I'm saying is, mama, don't let your babies grow up to be black cowboys. All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. It's 6. Black-owned company, Mary Spio owns it. She created a couple of these great products here, folks. One of them is this VR headset right here. You can just take your smartphone, drop it right into here, close this up, put this thing on your head, and you can actually go to their site or watch 360-degree video right here, virtual reality video with this headset. Of course, they have content on Ceek.com. You can actually subscribe to that. So that's a pretty cool headset right there. Then also they have these 360-degree 4D headphones. And so you can, of course, amazing bass. You can also, if you're a gamer, you can utilize the microphone for these headphones as well. Bluetooth, so you can, I've had conversations with folks when I'm out walking with these headphones on. And so if you want to get either one of these or get both of them, go to Ceek.com, CEEK.com. Use the promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020. And so that is Ceek.com.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Benga Ajilore, senior economist for the Center for American Progress, to talk about this here. Benga, certainly glad to have you back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Every time I get an email from Paris Denard with the Trump campaign, I just have to laugh. So they sent out this email this morning. President Trump's inclusive economy continues to work for the black community. And then they start touting his steadfast leadership has led to the black unemployment rate dropping yet again in July. Have they paid any attention to what's happened? Because the fact of the matter is, since October, the black unemployment rate up, up. Then it hits, of course, 17, 18%. And then, of course, it's now, but well, they're touting it dropping to 14.6%.
And that's the thing about these numbers. I mean, yes, technically it dropped, but it dropped so little that it's almost negligible. And so one of the things you have to look at is when you talk about these unemployment rates, especially by race, you have to compare it with other groups. So yeah, unemployment rate went down to about 14.6% for African Americans, but for whites, it dropped below double digits down to 9%. For white women, it's down to 9.6%. For white men, 8.3%. Black men, it's about 15%. Black women, it's 14%. So is that something that you should tout? No, not at all.
So again, so you're saying that when it came to white folks, it dropped double digits. For us,
no, drop down to single digits.
It dropped out of double to single digits.
Yes.
And for us, it went from what to what?
15.3% to about 14%. So it's still double digits. It's still almost 15%. It's still historically high. So we haven't seen unemployment rates like that since Great Depression.
So let's go back because I want people to understand numbers. So it was 15 point what?
So 15.3%.
15.3, and it drops to 14.6.
Yes.
That's not even 1 point.
No.
Okay.
It's basically flat.
Wow. And they actually are touting that as something major. But I also want you to speak to this here because this is, again, I deal in truth. And the reality is this here. If the numbers were true, I'll say it. This is what Paris Denard sent. Says Trump built the greatest economy for Black Americans with historic low unemployment once, and he's doing it again. Let's deal with that. Donald Trump did not build the greatest economy. The economic resurgence was in full swing when he was inaugurated, correct?
That's correct. I mean, it started, so we had the Great Recession in 2008, and from that point on, unemployment's been going down. And in fact, it's actually the longest recovery on history. So he just inherited a great economy up until we have the pandemic hitting. But even if you want to talk about the great recovery, if you're talking about African Americans, it was double the whole time. So it's not like you could make that argument if the gap closed. But the gap didn't close. The gap still was double each time. And so we're seeing that again, that after this, it's going down. But the gap between Black and white unemployment rates are starting to increase once again.
Well, and the point I'm also making with that is when you talk about that number, it was very high, obviously, because of what took place under President George W. Bush. Obama inherits that. That Black unemployment is very high, March 2010, that particular number. But by the time he leaves, it's down to 7.7, almost 12 points knocked off. Trump comes in, it goes down to 5.1, down 2 points. So this whole idea that Donald Trump is the reason for Black unemployment being so well, it's clear. It dropped almost 12 points under Obama, and it's only been down 2 points under Trump, and that they went down the 2 points by 5.1, and now it's back up to 14. So really, under Donald Trump, since he has been president, Black unemployment has actually doubled since he got inaugurated.
Yeah, you can make that argument.
Because the numbers are numbers. He came in, it was 7.7. Today it's 14.6. I guess where I went to school, that's like that's the times 2. Just saying.
Right. And the other thing is there's nothing policy-wise that the administration can point to that says that it actually made it good for them. The only fiscal policy that they did was the tax cut, which doesn't help Black people. It only helps wealthy white people. And now you look at some of the policies now, there's nothing being done to handle this public health crisis. We had the CARES Act back in March, haven't seen anything since. The House passed the HEROES Act on May 15th. We're almost 2, maybe 3 months in, and we still haven't seen anything. And we still have these double-digit unemployment rates for African Americans, for Latinx populations, for Asians. Only people that have anything unemployment rate below 10% are white people.
Wow. All right, Doc, I appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us. Go back to my panel here. So, Derek, when you hear again Paris sent out these statements, how Trump built this economy. Even you know that's BS. He did not build. He was literally handed an economy that was surging for a number of months before he even got in.
Roland, I just want to ask a question. At what point, because I just pulled up an article while he was talking, and it was from NBC, and it was from 2019.
Right.
And it said the lowest unemployment rate ever in history for African Americans.
Right.
It was down to 5.5%.
Right.
Lowest in history. So I guess my question is, this man was elected, Trump, in 2016.
Right.
This article was published in 2019.
Right.
3 years after he's been in office. At what point does he get credit in his administration for the economy?
Here's my question. What was it when he came in?
What do you mean, what was he coming in?
What was the black unemployment rate when he got inaugurated?
Oh, I didn't look at those numbers. I just pulled that number right there.
No. But
I think it said 7.7.
Yes, it was 7.7.
7.7.
And it went down to what?
To 5.5.
Which is a drop of 2 points, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that still means that black unemployment rate was still that much higher than that of whites, correct?
Yeah.
So no. But here's my whole point. He inherited one that was at 7.7 for black people. It goes down to 5.5. Who gave him the surging economy?
What do you mean who gave him the surging economy?
No. It's my question. Did the economy just start improving when he came in, or had it been improving for 6 years?
My question is, at what point does he get credit for his administration?
No. Wait. Hold up. Wait. 1 second. Did the unemployment rate go down to the lowest documented in history under Trump? Did that happen?
That is correct.
What is it now?
It's at 14. The dude just said it's at 14, 13%.
It's at 14.6%. So if he came in at 7.7 and it's now at 14%, does he also get the blame for it doubling?
Yeah, let's give him.
Hold up, Rob. 1 second, Derek. Does he get the blame?
It's economy.
Does he get the blame for it doubling?
Absolutely.
Okay, Rob, go ahead.
No, that was my point. I was going to give Trump all the credit. He inherited a good economy and has managed to destroy it. So yes, I give him the credit. This is his economy. He's running away with it.
I don't think it's a right statement to say he destroyed it. He destroyed it.
He definitely did. Hold on, I'm going to tell you why he did. Because he decided to deal with the COVID-19 as something that wasn't real. He didn't have a coordinated response. He didn't have a strong response in terms of actually focusing on making sure we were supporting people, supporting workers. All of it was a game to him. And so a lot of damage happened. So yes, he is the leader. He's accountable for this. That is my point. And a lot of this has to do with his lack of leadership. Period.
And also, can I add to the employment sectors where blacks are overrepresented, like sales, like administrators,
like government jobs,
exactly. I mean, a lot of those people, food service, right? All of those positions that evaporated, right? When COVID-19 became much more prominent. And again, as Rob said, we had an administration that wanted to play political football with people's actual lives. So yes, he can take credit for that 2-point drop off in unemployment, but he can also take credit for it doubling. And not to mention that's the economy, unemployment for black folks, also the deaths of black folks that happened on his watch as well. So he can take credit for all of that.
So this is what I want people to go to my iPad, please. I just want people to see this particular chart right here. This is the chart right here, okay? I'm gonna scroll over if I can, and you will see in this chart right down here, it goes January 2009, 12.7, going up 13.7. It went all the way up. This is black. It went all the way up to 16.8. And then it goes back up to 15. Then all of a sudden, y'all see. I want everybody to see this right here. I want everybody to see. Let me do right here. I want everybody to see what that number looks like, because let me go ahead and reset it because I want y'all to see this is important. Y'all see right over here? This here, these are the Obama years. Down, 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 and then all of a sudden you get to 17. Okay? These are the beginning of the Trump years. You see that big ass line that jumped up? That right there, Trump also has to accept. And that's the thing. They don't want to accept that part. That's the thing, Derek. Here's the deal. If you're gonna accept the good, you gotta accept the bad. I mean, that's all I'm saying. They don't want to do that though.
I agree, bro. That don't look good at all.
No, it don't. No, it don't. And in fact, that line over there jumped up higher than, I think it actually jumped up higher than, in the way this chart is a little hard to, it jumped to 16.8. That's actually higher than, or maybe it tied, it actually tied. The high point of Obama's presidency, black unemployment was 6. No. I'm just giving. I want our audience to have the information. The highest point under Obama's presidency, March 2010, it was at 16.8. It dropped to 7.7 by the time he left. The lowest point of Trump's presidency, it was actually 5.1, I think, 5.5. 5.5, and the highest is 16.8. So the net effect of Donald Trump on black people, Derek, the net effect of the Trump presidency on black people is that our unemployment rate has doubled under Donald Trump. That's the net effect.
That's a net effect. But I would just look at to say that the COVID, man, I think we all would agree on this panel, it has exposed just black people in general. That's why even when we start talking about, kids going back to school, it hurts me that some of these kids are going to get left behind with this whole virtual thing. And I realize you got to be safe and keep them home, but damn, we're going to continue to fall behind.
But wait, hold up though. But here's the deal though. And here's the thing. I'm not saying at all. Let me be real clear with people. I am not saying that it is a good thing that coronavirus took place. What I am saying is that now white folks in America are seeing the reality of what it means to be black. They are seeing higher death rates. They are seeing the impact on black businesses. They are seeing the impact on black kids in school. Can't nobody white sit here and deny what has actually happened to black people historically, because what COVID-19 has absolutely exposed all of that, Rob.
I agree. It's not only has it exposed that, so it's exposed how horrible of a leader we have, because that's what a crisis does. It'll either it'll expose or it will exaggerate the best characteristics and the worst, and we've seen that. But it's also exposed America and how bad we have been in terms of preparing. It's exposed the fact that we haven't invested in digital infrastructure. We should have broadband and Wi-Fi built all across this country. We should have that. But we don't have that, so it's exposed that. So people that don't have that, just like Derek said, are being left behind. It's exposing the fact that we haven't invested like we need to as a nation. It's exposed the fact that we don't focus on workers. If you look at every other country, they are now recovering from COVID-19. We are now exceptional in a bad way. We're not recovering for all types of reasons. One, we didn't take it seriously. But then two, how we responded, we didn't respond by making sure we helped every single worker. There's a debate about that right now. In Europe and every other place, they made sure every worker was reimbursed, period. In America, we had a long debate about it, and they were giving money to people like the LA Lakers and this business here and huge multinational corporations, ones that didn't need it. So we have the wrong focus in America. It's exposed really the lack of leadership in America as a whole, but we really have a really bad one in the White House.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We can face this pandemic head on. We can do what it takes to protect our families and our communities. Together, we can get our economy moving again, but not without the tools and resources we need to get the job done. To win this fight, it is going to take a public service army. Don't let Congress fire the frontline workers who can save us. Text FUMD to 237263 to tell Congress to fund the front lines.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it. Please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Hundreds of folks gather at the Magnificent Mile, in other parts of downtown Chicago last night, smashing windows, looting stores, confronting police, and at one point exchanging gunfire with officers. More than 100 folks were arrested. 13 officers were injured during the unrest, including a sergeant who was hit by a bottle. A civilian and private security guard were shot and wounded. Now, the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, she blames County Prosecutor Kim Foxx, saying she should have previously prosecuted to the highest extent of the law the people who were previously involved in looting and rioting in Chicago. Kim Foxx had this reaction.
Good afternoon. It was maybe 9 weeks ago that I drove into the city and saw the heartbreak and the anger that resulted in what we see again today, which are broken windows in this building. The news that I woke up to with widespread looting here downtown and in some of our neighborhoods, that I'm sure I, and like many people, are heartbroken, angry, confused as to how we find ourselves here. And the reality is that as we seek to figure out what is happening in what is truly an unprecedented summer, it requires us to ask tough questions, to do deep deliberation, and to put all hands on deck. All hands on deck means that rather than standing and pointing fingers, we work together.
Now, what all started in Chicago was after cops shot a man allegedly for carrying a gun. That's what set off what took place yesterday. Now, that is totally separate from the continued violence that has happened in Chicago. Over the weekend, 35 people were shot. 3 were killed by Sunday night. This has been going on all summer. You heard Kim Foxx mention that. And in fact, there's a 75% increase in the shootings in Chicago this summer, a 139% increase in murders for July 2020 compared to the same time a year ago. What is happening in the Windy City? Joining us right now is T.O. Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman, Executive Director of the Violence Interrupters. T.O., again, you see on one hand you have the mayor. She's blaming DA Kim Foxx, saying had she prosecuted folks before, then this wouldn't be happening. The Chicago Tribune dropped a story showing how Kim Foxx's office has dismissed more felony cases than her predecessor, Anita Alvarez. What is actually happening in Chicago? What is going on there? How can folks around the country understand really what's taking place?
Hey, thanks, and thanks first and foremost, Roland, for having me on your show. what's going on in Chicago. I'm glad you had me on because I was on the front line yesterday over in Inglewood where there was a near riot that was about to jump off. Guys like myself, Tyrone Muhammad, a brother named Joseph Williams, Eric Russell, we got a chance to calm the crowd down. The police were out there and they were going back and forth with the people. The young man got shot by the police. The facts have not been released yet in regards to the shooting yesterday, the young man in Inglewood. But most important, we stopped a potential riot on the front end in the Inglewood community yesterday, right on the front line. Secondly, in Chicago, what's going on right now, let's separate the gun violence from the looting and the rioting right now. The gun violence is at an all-time high, based on my opinion, because the violence is all over the place. You got a lot of interpersonal conflict. Gang violence makes up about 30% of the gun violence in Chicago, but a lot of interpersonal stuff going on. People they're on edge already. COVID-19, I'm not blaming COVID-19, but people are feeling desperate. People are at home all the time. People in the community don't have no outlets hardly. There's nothing really open out here, Roland, and people in the world need to know this. There's nothing for the young people to do. So idle mind brings upon a whole lot of different types of thoughts, okay? Homicides increased 139% during the month of July 2020. Now, when you talk about leadership in Chicago, I believe that we have ineffective leadership. They don't have the ability, in my opinion, to really address this issue of gun violence and reduce the gun violence. On behalf of Violence Interrupters, I'm not just talking about myself, Roland. I work with a lot of people in Chicago. We have mediated 43 conflicts this year on the front end where we stopped somebody from killing another person on the front end. And I've been trying to meet with the mayor for quite some time now, but I stopped trying. My thing is now to just keep doing the work. There's a community that I work in on the west side, the near west side. We've gone 60 days without a shooting. None of the businesses were torn up over in the community that we work in. So gun violence right now, you just had the rapper Duck. He was killed, and they were expecting big-time retaliation after his killing. We've been meeting with both sides, not just me, once again. I have a team of people out there. There's a lot of organizations supporting the cause, and there has not been any retaliation as of today. Let me put it like that. So the looting that just took place in Chicago, and I notice the blame game is kicking off on a higher level now. You cannot just blame Kim Foxx. You know, it's important to have somebody in Chicago that knows the back alleys of Chicago, the concrete jungle here in Chicago. You know, I don't want to just come on and criticize the mayor. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But what I would like to say is that I met with Superintendent David Brown. He's new in Chicago. It's going to take some time for him to learn what's going on in Chicago. So right now, there's no need to point fingers, because if you want to point fingers, David Brown doesn't know Chicago. Lori Lightfoot does not know Chicago, okay? If you want to just be technical about it. So right now, we need all hands on deck once again. Kim Foxx is doing the best she can do. She may have made a few missteps like a lot of us do, but there's no time to point fingers. Let's bring it together and really organize these young people to the point where they feel a part of society instead of feeling disenfranchised or ostracized from overall society, Roland.
So, but how do you get it under control when you have, of course, when you have a situation there, young folks being killed? I saw a story last week, a young boy, his mom kept him inside. She didn't let him go outside and play. He never made it home. You have folks who say they feel helpless with what's going on there, what's happening on those streets. You don't have the same, let's just be honest, you don't have the same centralized gang control that you used to have in Chicago, where, like it or not, they were able to actually control violence there. And so you have these offshoots. You have these lone gunmen. You got folks just sort of operating in their own space. And so what is the blueprint to try to get it under control? Because Trump and others are like, send in more cops. That's the answer. Community says it's not the answer, but the community wants to be safe.
Well, you know, you cannot arrest your way out of an epidemic of gun violence, right? It's learned behavior. A lot of guys grow up in the community. This is what they know, okay? My thing is, I would like to make an appeal to anybody listening and watching out here. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, if the mayor of Chicago appointed T.O. Hardiman like the street superintendent of police, let's hypothetically speaking, I could bring homicides down in Chicago by 70%. God has blessed me with a proven track record. I know how to communicate with my people. I'm talking to my people now. I know how to communicate with them young brothers and sisters out there in the concrete jungle a certain way. But you need somebody with, like, the alpha dog has got must return to Chicago in order to restore order out here, Roland. The thing is, mental health is at an all-time high. People not receiving no type of funds out here. Just imagine all the people that are unemployed right now. 45% of African-American youth are unemployed in Chicago. We have a big job ahead of us. And instead of pointing fingers, we should organize and unify. And the mayor should be able to reach out to people like me that's not your traditional yes man, somebody that might be able to help the city out, not help her out, but help our good city out right now. So, a lot of people are getting funded to, work to reduce violence. I'm working. I'm not getting the funding I used to receive. And I'm not here just on here talking about funding either. People can fund me if they want to. If they don't, that's fine. But my thing is this here. There are countless agencies that can do the work, Roland, but they're not being called to the table right now. And we need everybody. Now, the overall solution for people in the world to know, my vision for the overall solution, we need about 10,000 African-American men to unify in Chicago for about 1 year straight, hit the streets, mediate all the conflicts with these young brothers on the streets of Chicago, not stand on them and talk against them and talk down to them, but we need young men. We need guerrilla brothers, intellectual brothers, spiritual brothers, and political leaders. We need to descend amongst the community and reach these. Every time I go out in the community, them brothers, they receive me, Roland. And I'm not just talking about myself, there's other brothers too, but the thing about it, we're like unsung heroes to a degree because we're not doing it for glory.
Looks like, go ahead, you froze there.
Right on ground level. People filmed it. Okay? So we stopped the riot yesterday, Brother Roland, so I just want to say we putting in work.
The thing that, to your point there, you say you need 10,000. When I lived in Chicago, I remember same thing. We were dealing with violence there. We had organized an all black men gathering, took place at the House of Hope. More than 1,000 brothers turned out. But the problem is what you said is that also, look, if you're going to put them out there, look, that's a job. And the reality is the city spends tons of money on police, tons of money on law enforcement. As you're talking, I'm sort of thinking about, of course, the guardian angels who were in New York City. I'm thinking about, other places as well, where you are, yes, putting folks out there who have a relationship. I remember a few years ago, a lot of people didn't realize this, where the Chicago police superintendent met with the Nation of Islam when they were creating these safe passages for kids walking to and from school. What you're dealing with there is you absolutely need all hands on deck. And so is there a present community solution right now? Is there any community role that's being played at the mayor, at the county commissioners, that the police are involved with, or are they trying to figure out on their own?
I think everybody's doing a guessing game right now. For example, Roland, every year, universities are getting $20 or $30 million to do research on what are the root causes of gun violence. Why keep funding research? We already know what the root causes are. The bottom line is when I talk about organizing 10,000 men, I'm saying organize 10,000 men with intent to mediate conflicts, to reach them young brothers on a higher level. Mediate conflicts out there, not just marching. Not marching against the young brothers, bringing them to the table of peace and understanding, number one. The solution is a community solution. That's the only thing that's going to work right now. Everybody's talking about defunding the police, right? I'm not a proponent of defunding the police entirely, but I understand the mindset of defunding the police. But right now, the community solution, black men got to get up off the couch right now, Roland. We have to organize and mobilize, and then we need the family members of the shooters out there to become a part of the movement, because family members can reach their own family members, and we back up the family members. If you want to, this is going to take like a whole lot of serious work. It's not going to just be an overnight solution, but I guarantee you we can reduce gun violence by 70% in Chicago if everybody would take a look at my strategy, Roland. And I've also implemented a restorative justice component of my violence interrupter strategy, which includes peace circles and healing circles where we can help some of these young brothers heal from some of the trauma that they've experienced over their lives, because hurt people hurt other people. And we got to be strong out here right now and grab the community, man. We have to grab the community, Roland. The business community, everybody should follow my lead if they really want to reduce the gun violence in Chicago. Now, I may come off as kind of like an angry brother, but I'm not angry. I'm an intellectual brother, okay? I'm also an adjunct professor. I teach restorative justice, criminal justice, understand the history of gangs in Chicago. So I work on all levels, but people should really follow my lead here because I have a proven track record, but it's hard to get traction here in the city for whatever reason, Roland, with the mayor anyway.
A year ago, August 2nd, you lost Dr. Carl Bell. He was very instrumental when it came to conflict resolution, when it came to mental health. Of course, his mental health agency eventually shut down, lack of funding. While I was there, he and I talked a lot as well. You got Pastor Corey Brooks there. You've got Reverend James Meeks there, individuals who have large groups of men who belong to their churches. And so have you or anyone else has anyone, and granted, I know we're in the age of COVID, but has anyone called for a mass meeting of black men in Chicago to try to get the mayor and others to see this and accept this idea? And what I'm talking about is I get your call for it. I'm talking about literally calling those together. And I know House of Hope fits 10,000, and we're now dealing with social distancing. But if that call is put forth and they show up, it's a little hard for Lightfoot to ignore that.
No, the thing is, yes, I work with Pastor Corey Brooks as well. He has a good team over there. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that's really stepping up with this, trying to prevent the retaliation with the guy that was killed, the rapper Dunk, and the guys on the other side. So, yes, Corey Brooks is a great asset, and he has a guy that works with him by the name of James Highsmith. He has a good relationship with all the brothers in that area. So, yes, to answer your question, Roland, we're in the process now dealing with this. This social distancing is kind of hard, but on the west side, I've organized around 5 different tribes. I call the brothers tribes, and we're organizing the first social distance type of peace summit on the west side coming up probably within the next 30 days. And then on the larger level, see, the thing when you organize summits, we're not going to call it a gang summit, it's a peace summit. Mm-hmm. You have to meet, it's mandatory that you meet with all the young brothers first, get them on board with you in advance. So it takes a little work. So we may have to we don't want to do it overnight, strategize on it for sometime in October. So therefore everybody would know, the reason why they're coming to the summit, because you remember the Million Man March, which was a great thing. They had the Million Man March twice, but when brothers got back to Chicago, the killing continued. We did not stop the killings, in other words. So we have a lot of outside forces right now, Roland, even in the black movement. You got agent provocateurs. You got personal hidden agendas taking place out here. You got people pumping illegal drugs in our community and illegal guns. So when you address this issue straightforward, the way I'm talking, then the real demons will show their face, okay? The real demons will show their faces, Brother Roland. But we're doing okay, but we can work a little harder if we all would just unify.
T.O. Hardeman, we sure appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
And thank you for the people. Appreciate you all for having me on. And my website is violenceinterrupters.org, and you can follow me on social media.
All right. Thank you so very much. My panel today is Lena McAllister, Director of Western Pennsylvania for Commonwealth Foundation, Dr. Avis Jones-DeWeaver, Political Analyst, Michael Brown, former Vice Chair, DNC Finance Committee. I'll start with you, Lenny, and that is, it's real simple. I don't care who you are, you cannot deal with violence in communities if you do not have some form of community program or initiative. Your thoughts on what T.O. just laid out?
I mean, we both have been there, Roland, and we know that it obviously takes not just people, but money. I mean, time is money, and as much as people want to volunteer to be on the streets and do what we can for our communities, there's also something to be said about having an ongoing presence there. A lot of this stuff jumps off at night. A lot of this stuff jumps off during school time when kids are truant from school. A lot of this stuff is a long-term perspective type of endeavor. This is not going to be something where you just stop one fight and that's it. These are things that have been going on for generations. It's going to take people that know the work, that know the streets, like Tio was saying. It can't just be somebody that's going to parachute in. I know that Reverend Sharpton tried to come to Chicago and live there for several months and then leave to resolve a problem that people, including the Nation of Islam, Rainbow Push Coalition, and many, many others have been having a hard time resolving over years. This is going to take a long-term initiative. It's going to take some money, and it's going to take a higher level of commitment to get this done, where it's not just, black on black crime, take care of it. It's going to take something that the government tries to take a deeper understanding of and not just over-police it, because as we have seen, over-policing is not the answer to eradicating problems that have social ramifications, cultural ramifications, but dare I even say racial ramifications in regards to how we got here and where we're going.
Avis, look, I mean, you have to have a community component. If the community does not trust city officials and police, they're not going to turn anybody in because they're going to fear for their own safety.
That's exactly right. And I just have to echo the sentiments that were just shared. This is not, unfortunately, going to be any sort of great epiphany that people are all of a sudden going to come to and just poof, overnight, things are going to change. This will take years of investment. This will take a multi-pronged approach that's about creating strong economic foundations in communities, about creating strong programs in communities that can provide counseling, that really can support families. It's not going to be sort of like a one-shot cure. This is a multifaceted problem that needs to be attacked from multiple levels, and it is going to take years of commitment, and absolutely it will take years of investment in order to turn this thing around.
Michael.
Well, I want to echo clearly what the good doctor said, and of course what Lenny said as well. And we here in D.C., we had something called Ceasefire, Don't Smoke the Brothers as well. An organization like the previous guest was talking about. I don't know if the organizations are related at all. And what the doctor said is exactly right. We have to have all these wraparound services. However, the linchpin that we've talked about as well is until you deal with the folks that are bringing the guns into our communities. And I'll give you an example. A lot of the young brothers who have weapons do not walk into a gun show and use the gun show loophole to get their weapon. They're getting them out of the trunk of a car or a van that's coming into the neighborhood from another state or downstate. So the ATF has to be part of this. If they're going to go after young brothers with a nickel bag of weed, they need to go after the white Caucasian gun runners that are coming into our cities giving young brothers guns. That is a part of it. That has nothing to do with NRA. That has nothing to do with trying to take somebody's Second Amendment rights. What it is folks that are driving in illegally to sell guns to people. That also needs to be part of the problem.
Well, the issue there, again, what's happening there is it's a multi-faceted issue. So it's not just the issue of guns. It's not just the issue of police, but you got to deal with economics. You got to deal with education. I mean, it's all of that combined. But again, I do believe that in order for them to fix what's going on, you have to have a community component. Otherwise, it will never, ever get taken care of. So we certainly hope to see what happens there in Chicago.
Back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it. Please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
I'm just sitting here and y'all talk about you badmouth this dude, but you give Mr. Biden a white pass.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Can you show me an example where? No. Hold up. Can you show me an example where Joe Biden has talked dismissively and that nasty to black correspondents?
No, I can give you an example where Joe Biden used the nigga. You can go pull that up. And I guarantee y'all been looking for a place where Trump has said that word. But Joe Biden
sorry,
said
I haven't. So where did Joe Biden say that word?
Yeah.
At a hearing. Go pull it up.
No. Hold up. Derek.
At a hearing.
Hold on. Wait. Hold up, Derek. Hold up, Derek.
Go pull it up.
Derek, where did he say that? No. Where did he say it, Derek?
At a hearing. At a congressional hearing.
And what was the context, Derek?
At a hearing, he was talking about a criminal, and he used the word. I don't give a damn.
No. Tell me. No. You said Joe Biden said, nigga. Show me what the context was.
I know what it said. You pull it up. You got your producers. They pull it up. I already know what it said. I saw it.
Okay. So for everybody who's out there watching, let me show you why. When folks like Derek say stuff like that, they sound ignorant because they don't want to back it up with facts. Go to my iPad. Here's the deal. Claim a video from a 1985 hearing exposes Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden for using the N-word, stating, "We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots."
You go.
Wait, listen. Associated Press, listen, Derek. Associated Press's assessment. False. Biden was not making the statement himself. Listen.
I don't have to listen.
No, stop talking and listen. Listen. Biden was not making the statement himself. He was reading a racist statement made by hold up. First of all, Derek, you're not going to overtalk me when I'm explaining to the audience what's going on. Y'all can turn this mic down so I can read to the audience. Listen.
He left us again.
See, this is what happens when folks like Derek don't want to deal with facts. So for all y'all listen, I want y'all to listen. Derek just said, Joe Biden said nigger in a hearing. Here are the facts. Quote, Biden was not making the statement himself. He was reading a racist statement made by a state legislator during a redistricting process in Louisiana that was overseen by a deputy attorney general nominee. Biden was questioning the nominee under oath about the comments during a U.S. Senate hearing. That, Rob, is far different than you listen to Derek say, oh, he said nigger. He was reading a racist statement by a Louisiana state legislator.
I mean, I don't even know where to start, man. It is typical of the party to try to distract, to get you going down, to get you distracted, because the strategy of the Republican Party right now, you have a president that is racist, and what they're trying to say is Joe Biden's racist too. Look at that. Like, no, they are not equivalent. Don't even put those. Put those two together.
Rob, I got something for you. And again, see, this is why Derek logged off. Okay, here's the deal, and this is what happens when, like I told Derek, we don't play the lie game on this show. We deal in facts. This, folks, is the actual video from C-SPAN. Go.
Unerring precision slices through the city's traditional subunit, the ward, in a racially selective manner, leaving intact predominantly white wards while carving up those densely populated by blacks. As of the governor, the court concludes, quote, the governor's opposition to the Nunes plan was predicated in significant part on his delineation of a majority black district centered in Orleans Parish. In a confidential portions of your staff memo, they brought to your attention the allegation that important legislators in defeating the Nunes plan in the basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor and we don't need any more nigger big shots. And the court cited evidence of discriminatory intent on the part of other legislators, including the representative who testified at the court hearing, that there were legislators, quote, who don't feel they wanted to have a district that would be able to elect a black representative.
That's what happens, Amisha, when you present facts. Derek he thought he was going to try on this show. And I keep telling y'all can't play that game with me. I'm too quick for y'all.
Amisha, he thought, oh, Joe Biden said nigger, nigger, nigger in a hearing. He was literally reading from a statement made by a Louisiana state legislator.
The Republican Party is filled with a whole lot of wannabe truthers who make statements all the time that are incorrect, and they typically don't get fact-checked in real time. So I'm thankful that you did that. But it's also very clear what Republicans are trying to do, Derek included. They're trying to basically peg one racist for another racist and break it down to, well, Americans only have one decision, and it's to choose racist Trump or racist Biden. Quite frankly, it is an essential lie, but it's one that the Republican Party will not stop because they're trying to siphon off black votes by any means necessary.
And let me be real clear to the audience, okay? I loathe asking my people to turn someone's microphone off. I don't immediately jump to that. But if I say 6 and 8 and 10 times, let me finish, and a guest keeps trying to overtalk me, one, they're trying to overtalk me for a reason, because they don't want the truth to be told. And so, only a handful of times in my entire career have I ever said cut somebody's microphone. And I've only said cut somebody's microphone when they refuse to stop talking over me and they get so outlandish and loud, I have no other choice but to cut their microphone so I'm able to make the point or allow a guest to make the point. And so that's the real deal there. So these are facts. This is how we operate. And see, this is what I keep trying to tell y'all. When these conservatives and these Republicans come on these shows and they try that game, most show hosts don't have their iPad connected to an HDMI connector. So when somebody throws it out, their staff is scrambling in the back trying to find it. I don't need that. Because, see, I'm always ready when you throw a lie out. And so it's childish to turn your Skype off and get all upset. And it's also childish when you won't let somebody make the point. So if you try to come on here with the lie, I'm going to bust you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.